Hi everyone, and welcome to today's video. Today's video is going to be a very quick rundown of movies that I've watched, both as a child and as an adult, that are LGBTQ related, and ones that I think can really help you get a better understanding of what it's like to be LGBTQ. They're not going to be, here's number one, here's number two. It's just my top 10. Okay, they're all as good as each other in their own very special and unique way. Okay, so here we go. We have number one, Boy Meets Girl. Wonderful movie, shows how relationships can develop when someone starts transitioning, especially a younger adult, stroke teen. And, it's a beautiful example of a family being supportive and a community being supportive of a trans person and how that can really help someone flourish. And yes, there are examples of transphobia in there as well, but by and large, the good outweighs the bad, and she certainly overcomes all of the obstacles and thrives. And it is a real positive, down-to-earth, feel-good movie, okay? There are bits in there that'll probably make you cry, but it's a good movie, okay? So give it a go. Next one, Boys Don't Cry, based on a true story. Won several awards, I believe, anyway. Someone's probably going to correct me in the comments, but I'm pretty sure it won some awards. True life's telling of a trans man, believe trans male anyway. And yeah, I don't want to ruin it for people, because it's one of those movies that's very impactful. It's a very, very impactful movie. Gives a real message about how you've got to be careful out there when you're trans, especially. I mean, everyone should be careful, but especially when you're trans. And there are some pretty horrific, heinous things done in that movie, especially towards the end, which are reflective of what happened in real life. But by and large, it is such a good movie. It is such a well done movie. It's down to earth. They nail the characters just right, to make everything believable for me. And yeah, definitely give that one a go. That's really worth watching. Next movie, To Wong Foo, Thanks for Everything. I watched this one as a child and I didn't fully understand what the heck was going on. I'll be totally honest. This was pre-internet, so we didn't have the internet back in those days. I had no idea what the word trans, or I'm not even sure if the word trans is even in that movie, to be honest. It's been a really long time since I saw it. They probably use the term transsexual or something like that, transvestite, I'd imagine. But it's just a fun movie, and you get to see these three people in there having a positive impact on the community, and people are a little bit unsure about them at first, but they come to realize that they're just really lovely, nice people, and they just want to help out, and it's a really nice movie. So it's just a feel good, funny movie, probably dated a little bit now with some of the terms and whatnot, but as a young person myself watching it, I thought it was great. I loved that movie. Next one, Handsome Devil. Handsome Devil is about a young Irish guy who is gay. He's in school. He's probably about 15, I would have said 16 maybe at a push, and a new lad joins the school, really, really good rugby player, and you're not to know that he's gay, anyway. And they hit it off. They form a very unlikely friendship, and it just really shows what it must have been like to have been openly gay in school, especially in Ireland or Britain. And I could have done it. I'd have been way too scared. If I was that way. So I tip my beret to anyone that was able to put themselves through that, because I don't think I'd have been able to. And that movie really captures that for me. And again, another really positive, feel-good movie, relatable, believable characters, and it's nice to watch. So give that one a go too. The New Girlfriend, French movie, dubbed, fantastic. Really can't stress enough how great this movie is. If you want to get an idea of what it's like to see the world through what's the right word? a newly realized trans person, I suppose, someone that's starting to transition. And you know, there's a scene where you see the main character drive the car like 100 miles an hour to get out of the street because the neighbors might see, and that's a feeling that every trans person, for the most part, can relate to, is this fear almighty of the neighbors seeing what's going on, and you know, the curtain twitching brigade and all that kind of thing. And there's so many other wonderful parts to that movie, and just the friendship that forms between the main character and the supporting actress. And it is just such a wonderful movie of friendship and how people can adjust, and how difficult it can be at first to adjust, but how ultimately it's totally the right thing to do. And yeah, honestly, such a cool movie. If you get a chance, I can't recommend enough looking that one up. Okay. Billy Elliot. Okay, I'm proper biased here because I'm from the Northeast, and you've probably told that from my accent. And yeah, Billy Elliot, although he's not LGBTQ himself, I think a lot of what Billy goes through is relatable from an LGBTQ point of view, because, you know, he is doing something a little bit different from his gender norm, and, you know, the relative reaction of his family is one of scorn. And you know, there's a scene where he has to jump up on the table. You know, his brother's screaming, "Dance, you little bugger, dance!" And you know, he jumps up and he does his dance on the table. And I'd imagine it's like everyone's feeling in their head of what their family might be like if they were to be a little bit different, especially back in those times. And geez, I say back in those times, it wasn't that long ago, was it? And yeah, he's obviously got a little friend who's LGBTQ, and they are fantastic. They make the entire movie for me, and it is just such a lovely. And the music alone, I mean, watch it for the music if you're going to watch it for anything else. But wow, you know, from an LGBTQ point of view, I'd say it's a really powerful movie, and it shows you how much Billy thrives and what he achieves come the end of the movie, when his family put their own ignorances and prejudices and everything to one side and support the child. Look what happens. You know, he goes off and he becomes a swan, doesn't he? So yeah, Billy Elliot, please give that one a go. Brilliant movie, brilliant. Next one, The Miseducation of Cameron Post. Might not be obvious from the title, but this movie basically covers what conversion camps, conversion therapy, what that would have been like. I think it's roughly set in the 1990s by the looks of things. But again, it's quite a little bit on the long side, but it is a very, very good representation, in my opinion, of what it must have been like to have been one of these unfortunate people that was sent to one of these camps. And I can't imagine ever doing that as a parent, sending my child away to a camp to be brainwashed into being something that they're not. I mean, who are you living your life for? You know, let the child has their life. Don't, I mean, they often say don't impose your own self onto the child. You know, don't live vicariously through your child. But sending a child to conversion camp to get it to be more like you, I mean, how much of a twat can you be? Don't do that. And this movie is horrific in how the psychological abuse and the trauma that this poor girl has to go through. And honestly, watch it and then probably times it by about 10, and I bet you that's the tip of the iceberg for what some of these camps are actually like. And you should join every campaign, every march, every bloomin' picket line to get every last one of these horrifically crap holes banned. All right, because believe it or not, these places aren't entirely banned yet, and they should be. Okay, so yeah, watch that one. It'll be a real eye opener for you. Okay. Next one, we have the movie Disclosure. Okay, Disclosure is more of a documentary than a movie. Runs as long as a movie though, and it has many different celebrities. Has the woman from Orange is the New Black. I believe Barney from How I Met Your Mother might be in there as well. It's been a little while since I watched it. And yeah, it's just a collection of people basically doing what I'm doing now and talking about their experiences of being trans, the you know, the negatives, the pluses, the wins, the losses, the triumphs, the sad moments. And it was just a really wonderful, reaffirming, it's all right to be trans, you know, kind of movie. And you need that every now and again, because your dysphoria will say to you, you know, oh God, you're doing the wrong thing, you're doing this wrong, you're doing that wrong. And, you know, and it's just nice to see that even celebrities have those same worries. They have the exact same worries as we do. They've probably got more money to help them deal with it and all that kind of thing. But realistically, they're all people just like we are. And it's nice to have movies like that just to remind you that everything is going to be okay and things can work out really, really well for you if you put your mind to it, okay? With a little smidge of luck, obviously, as well. Philadelphia, again, another movie that I watched when I was younger, and that is starring Tom Hanks, and that covers, I believe he is a solicitor stroke lawyer, and he contracts the AIDS virus. And I won't go into too many details about the movie itself, but what I remember feeling at the time was very confused. I didn't understand what AIDS was. I couldn't understand why certain people were, you know, catching this illness, and it was something to be really, really scared of, you know, and obvious reasons as well. But I think it's more of a reason than anything. What I'm trying to say is why things like that need to be taught in schools regularly. Because I know as a child, when I saw that, I didn't have the first clue what it was all about. And the very last one, Howls Moving Castle. I love Howls Moving Castle purely because it's a story, bit of a fantasy adventure about a girl who's cursed, a little bit like Beauty and the Beast, and she's cursed by a witch to appear old, okay? Don't mean to offend anyone, but she's probably about between 80, 85 years old, you know, so quite old. And the reason why I believe it is such a good movie to watch from an LGBTQ point of view is that it shows the importance of seeing someone for who they really are. And there is many times when I have felt absolutely horrible about myself and said some horrific things about myself in front of my wife because I've been so upset about my looks, or, you know, are my shoulders too big? Is my jaw too big? Or, you know, and that kind of thing. And you know, you think so harshly of yourself when the dysphoria kicks in that you feel like shriveling up, you know, like Sophie does in the movie, like this old person. And you don't think that you've got anything to live, and you think, well, you know, I don't have to care if I just accept the fact that I'm washed up and I'm never going to amount to anything. I don't have to care, and you feel yourself shrinking away. And that's why the movie is so powerful, because Howell sees through that, and he sees her for her. And that's exactly the feeling I get with my wife. She sees through the dysphoria and all the BS that comes with it, and she sees me for me, and she drags me back from the abyss. And you can't buy that. Pardon me. You can't buy that. You just can't. And you know, I'll be forever grateful for that. And that's why that movie is such a hard watch for me, because I'll watch it and I'll see so much of myself in that character in Sophie. And see, I get upset now. Stupid hormones. And you realise that you have got something to live for. You know, you're not old. You're not past it. You're not, you know, going to expire tomorrow. And Kat sees me. And that is such a wonderful thing. And I hope and pray that one day all of you, if you don't have that already, will have that someday. Okay, and good luck to you, because it is a wonderful feeling if you get it. Okay, and there you go. There is my top movies to watch if you want to know more about being LGBTQ. Thank you very much, and I'll talk to you again later. Bye.